Let's talk about Hudson Williams because Hudson Williams out here being dragged over the fact that he ended up with a swastika on his face back when nobody knew who the fuck he was. But the funny thing is now you got his fellow Asian and Simu Liu, who is coming out defending him. But first things first, there was a story that I saw over there on what was it? On the Queer Tea, which was explaining the whole thing because apparently word on the street is Peloton dropped him from their ads after this whole controversial picture from high school surfaced online or resurfaced. So they talking about that the campaign disappeared from social media. Yeah, because I was getting bombarded with it. Now they said the heated rivalry star has been a subject of intense backlash after a high school photo resurfaced on TMZ showing the actor with, among other black markings on his face, a swastika. The internet remains sharply divided on how to meet the crisis. Do we give Williams a pass for doing something dumb in his teen years, or do we hold his feet to the fire? Well, before I get into the rest of the article, I think we could do both. We can. Well, not. I don't. Wait. Let me retract because they said, "Do we give him a pass?" I do feel like what he did back then was stupid, but when it does reveal itself, we should talk about it. We should. It should be open dialogue, and we should hold people's feet to the fire for doing something stupid and immature. Like, what possessed you as a male who's half white? Why would you even do that? Let people put a swastika in it. And you said you didn't even know that's what that was. But I'm sure you was aware of the photo and what that was. I would have told him, like, you better get rid of that photo. But then again, y'all did forgive Lady Gaga for running around here in blackface. She's out here still surviving and thriving. And some people feel like, oh, y'all coming at y'all always got smoke for people of color because when Heat of Rivalry started becoming this big hit, there were a lot of people who were going at Hudson Williams because of him being a person of color, and people were literally out here looking for stuff to come at him. But y'all ain't been coming with that same energy with Connor's story. Now I don't know if there's things about Connor's story that he's done that warrants a little digation into his past, but we're saying that if you're going to come after one, then maybe y'all need to sleuth for other people. Or better yet, how about we just stop always just wasting hours on the internet just looking for reasons to hate on people? Because we've all done dumb shit in our lives. Trust and believe. There's been some things that I've done that y'all will gag over. Thank God I did things at a time before the internet. Because that was when I was born. I'm born from an era of like before the internet. So you're not gonna find no crazy shit that I've done on social media. Thank God for that. But I do feel for this current generation because those of you who didn't grow up in the analog era, that have grown up in the digital era, it's like any little thing y'all do, sexting, nudes, or any kind of inappropriate whatever is all out there. So ain't nobody gonna be able to be famous. So they said that Peloton has already responded, saying that they removed Williams' campaign because it came to a natural, contractually agreed upon end, not because of the current controversy. But people are calling BS on this. They said not only did Peloton delete the original social media post concerning the campaign, they unfollowed Williams as well. One Williams fan account added some clarity, explaining that Peloton only follows athletes on the official account, not actors, even if they previously starred in campaigns. And then a source from the brand confirmed to the gossip site Demois that the campaign removal had nothing to do with the resurfaced photos. You know, I mean, maybe maybe they're being honest. I'm side on y'all a little bit. But the reality of the matter is, one thing that we can't deny is the fact that whether or not that is the true intent of what y'all saying is true, and let's be devil's advocate and say that, okay, so they are being truthful in what they're saying. Oh, yeah, no, it came to an end. This was the time we were done with the Peloton campaign. We done moved on. Like this was based on the contract. This is the time we said that we're going to be working with him from this point to this point. Whether or not that's true, the timing we can't just negate the fact that the timing couldn't be worse because it looks like that y'all could be full of shit, which is what people are feeling in this manner. Now, in regards to all of that, Simu Liu, who y'all better known as, he's done a couple movies, but fellow Canadian, just like Hudson. Also known as Shang-Chi, recently came to Hudson's defense. So Williams, who has been one of the stars subject to online vitriol since the Crave series adaptation of Rachel Reed's Game Changers universe premiered in November, has come under fire after a photo surfaced, as y'all know, of him as a teenager with a swastika drawn on his forehead. The photo, which has not been authenticated and was shared by unverified accounts on Twitter, ignited debate as users argued over its context and the circumstances surrounding the reveal. Lou chimed in on the conversation in a post shared on Threads, where the Marvel stars stated that the controversy seemingly reflected a pattern of massive hate campaigns being launched against actors of color, saying, I have this very specific trauma attached to people on the internet fabricating things about me and twisting things into a massive hate campaign when I first broke out, the actor wrote, referring to his breakout role as Shang-Chi in 2021 Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. I began to recognize patterns wherever people of color specifically had a moment of visibility. He said it happened like clockwork and I see it happening now. The internet is insane. Bad actors are everywhere. If you're here, be careful, be smart. Now, in a separate post, Lou slammed an outlet reporting on the situation, demanding they stop picking on people of color for absolutely nothing. While Williams has not publicly addressed the controversy, a source close to the Canadian Screen Awards winner told TMZ that he was unaware of what had been drawn on him at the time and that the markings did not reflect his beliefs or values. But then, of course, people say, well, then why did you have it drawn on your face if it doesn't reflect your beliefs or values? And then who are these friends that drew this on your face and then felt the need that they felt comfortable enough to take the picture and put it up? Like the shit's funny. And this is towards anybody that promotes any kind of racism. The outlet reported that they were told the photo was taken during a campout tradition in Williams' Canadian hometown of Kamloops. During said campout, teens would party and cover each other's clothing and skin with Sharpie drawings while out in the woods. Along with a swastika drawn on the side of his head, well, didn't y'all say it was on the forehead now? It's on the side of his head. The photo of Williams shows a cross in the middle of his forehead, several names written over his cheeks and chin, as well as on the blue sweater he's wearing. The markings do not or have never affected Hudson's beliefs, values, or character, the source told the outlet. Well, you have to also realize how this is perceived. Whether or not this is your beliefs or whatever, you allowing this to happen to you, whether the pictures are true or not, how this looks in the eyes of the people who don't understand this culture that y'all have or whatever this is that you're talking about out in Canada. So then the recent photos surfaced amid what social users have alleged to be a smear campaign against the actor. Now, in the months since he gained fame on Heated Rivalry, Williams' personal life has also been under attack. Although neither he nor his co-star Connor Story have discussed their sexuality, Hudson allegedly apparently has a girlfriend and has had a girlfriend long before. So, with that being said, he don't need to discuss his sexuality. While he is hunching a man on camera as an actor, in real life, he's going down on the cootie cat. And so I would assume that he identifies as straight. Now, regardless of Connor, that's a whole nother conversation. When that man ready to disclose who he likes, you know, tussling with in the bedroom, then he shall do that. But of course, I think a lot of this has stemmed from the fact that the fandom of Heated Rivalry have been trying to ship Connor and Hudson in real life, but because now that they found out that he has a girlfriend, and I guess he identifies as heterosexual, people are out here all of a sudden he's getting the bullying and the backlash, whatever the case is, because their fantasies have been ruined. Well, y'all do know this is a scripted series. Like, go out and touch grass. Williams has only ever stated that he considers sexuality to be more fluid than people think. So maybe he does like boys. Who knows? But right now he's dating a girl while being which what happens with bisexuals. Bisexuals can be in a committed relationship with either gender. But people always think that If you're bisexual, that means at any moment, if you're in a relationship with a girl, oh, you're going to go out and punch a man. No, you're dealing with a cheater. And cheaters cheat at any type of situation, whether you're straight, whether you're gay, whether you're trans, whether you're a lesbian, it doesn't matter. Cheaters cheat, or cheaters are going to cheat. You don't need an excuse to be bisexual. Now, while being interviewed by Heated Rivalry co-star Sophie Nellis for Wonderland magazine in January, Williams reacted to the hate he receives and said, "I didn't think there would be as many disrespectful people as there are." Excuse me, and vice versa. I didn't think there would be as many respectful people as there are. I thought everyone would just be screaming nice or kind of like either be screaming nice or kind of like, oh my God, he continued. But there are people who are like, no, let's be disrespectful to him and his private life. Let's not share these photos. When we approach him on the street, let's be mindful of appropriate times. I'm seeing those comments and that's cool. But then there are disrespectful people who are like, fuck that guy. And I'm like, holy shit, why are people hating on me? There's also all this fake news about me. And I'm like, how do I already have fake news? Well, it just goes to show that comes unfortunately with the downside of fame. Now, in response to the accusations against Williams, his fans on social media have been speaking out in defense of him under the hashtag I stand with Hudson Williams, saying, quote, the 25-year-old actor who picked a gay role did it justice, always spoke up for the LGBT community, made queer movies with $5 um, with his friends for years prior, even as a film student, and whose own VSCO account show his actual beliefs. One user, what the hell is VSCO? I've never heard of that. Is that like a different form of Twitter in Canada? One user wrote on X. What's becoming increasingly obvious is that some people have no interest in understanding the context or acknowledging who Hudson is today. Instead, they seem more focused on keeping the controversy alive for as long as possible when no explanation is ever enough. Another Twitter user wrote. And a user on Threads wrote the following: we need to have a very serious and uncomfortable conversation. This level of vitriol directed at Hudson comes from a faction of the fandom, and that faction openly claims to support the show's white lead. Things do not exist in a vacuum. Now, others have decried the use of marginalized communities in a big for a gotcha moment against the actor, as well as the invasiveness of digging into private citizens' accounts to find photos of Williams as a teenager. So yeah, and I should also say Williams, Lou, and reps for Crave did not respond to Entertainment Weekly's comment on all of this. But I do agree there are people that are literally out here looking for a gotcha moment because I guess it makes them feel wholesome inside. Who knows? But like I said, none of us is perfect. He at the end of the day has to atone for what he's done. And there definitely seems to be more of a witch hunt for people of color versus white folks because they don't get the same energy. In fact, when white people come out and do racist shit, they're rewarded for it. They're given jobs at the White House. So, or they're pardoned by the idiot in chief. So I know this is a very difficult, nuanced topic, but I definitely want to hear from you all because we do nuance well on here. But I definitely want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think of this story regarding Hudson Williams, Simu Liu coming out and defending him, and the Peloton and all the other stuff that went along with that? I definitely want to hear from y'all. So let me know what your thoughts are on this story in the comments down below.